the basics of football. It's amazing in the late 1990s, which we're in now in the AFL season, that we continually hear about set plays, about taggers, about individual players that have jobs to do and carry out, all technical terms. But it's really the coaches are always consistently blaming the basics of the game that causes losses for their teams. They blame the disposal, they blame the kicking, they blame the handball, they blame the poor option that the player takes. And when you consider they're all the things that you've got to be learning at your young age, when you're starting out in your careers as 12, 13, 14 years old. The basics are the things that'll carry you through your football career. The kicking, both sides of the body, handballing, both sides of the body, and your marking, chest mark, overhead mark. They're all the simple things, the things you have to hone and practice and do it in a repetitious manner that you don't have to think about later. It becomes second nature. Then everything else that the coaches and the teams that you'll be involved with will all come easy for you. So remember the fundamentals, the basics of the game. That's what'll stand you in good stead. Do them now and have them practiced when you get to the AFL level. John Longmire, handball on his preferred side. With our game being totally dominated by movement, the team who can best execute this handball skill on their preferred hand will consistently win matches. John Longmire shows us how it can be achieved perfectly. The simple explanation is the ball sits on your other hand and the ball is then punched from the hand with a fist of your preferred side. Simple so far. The next thing to look for is that the hand holding the ball not only does not move away from its starting position, but is moved in a sideways action to give you the direction needed to find your teammate. Important here to notice that John executes the whole motion in a very smooth but precise way. A key part of John's complete action is the limited movement in the hand punching the ball. Of course, when the handball is longer, there will be more movement, but it must remain smooth. A game situation is much faster, so these basic skills have to be practiced in a repetitious way so it becomes second nature. To describe Wayne Carey's kicking action any other way than poetry in motion would be doing an injustice to this enormously talented individual. The description of the perfect kick would be: firstly, that the ball is held over the kicking foot. Balance run up to kicking position. This kick is on his preferred side, so the left hand leaves the ball. The right hand still in control of the ball, directing and lowering it onto the right foot. Leg poised to strike. Body starting to slowly move back to direct the power from the upper body through the leg and into the football. History tells us that Wayne has kicked many goals from 60 to 65 metres out. This can only be achieved when you look in these different shots and angles how perfect his style is. This did not happen by accident. Many years of consistent practice have honed this wonderful skill to its present form. In reality, the chest mark is slowly disappearing from our game. This is occurring because of this continual quest for more speed and movement. Shannon Grant is, however, showing how the chest mark should be executed when it is needed. Most coaches these days want the ball taken out in front of the body for quicker motion into the handball or kicking action. As Shannon is doing, the most important thing to remember is to have your body completely in line with the path of the ball. This ensures two very important things. The first is to protect the ball from the opponent's fist trying to punch it away. Secondly, if the mark is dropped, the ball hits your body and then keeps you in control and have front position to keep competing for possession. It's important to notice Shannon's elbows close together so that the ball can't slip through and go to ground. The most mistakes that occur with chest marking are mental, when the player mistakenly thinks that it's a lot easier than it actually is. Corey McKernan and the high mark. The high mark is without doubt the most attractive and thrilling aspect of our game, and with this thought in mind, there is no better exponent of the high mark than Kangaroos champion Corey McKernan. Corey shows us in this footage the fundamentals of high marking, starting from the top. His fingers are spread, thumbs behind the ball and slightly relaxed. Next, his arms are just forward of his head. and a little bent at the elbows to add that cushioning effect, just like a spring. Then it's important to see his head and eyes are looking at the ball coming towards his hands. Sometimes you see photos with players' eyes shut. Be assured this happens after the mark has been taken. Next, and obviously with your arms outstretched, you have little protection. So you'll see Corey's leg and knee lift up in front of his body. This protects and strengthens his marking position, also helping his balance. Notice also that he is slightly crouched on his run-up, and this allows him to uncoil and gain the most out of his spring. Winston Abraham kicking on his non-preferred leg. It's interesting that we feature someone like Winston Abraham to show us how to kick on his non-preferred side. It would be generally accepted that Winston would be one of the complete footballers in terms of skills playing the game. When looking at this sequence of video, it's as if you're looking in a mirror, as with Carey on his preferred leg. Winston's approach and balance are ideal. Right hand leaves the ball, left hand staying in control and guiding the ball onto his foot. As with Carey, his body starts to lean back, bringing his foot through the ball. The one interesting aspect of Winston's follow-through is well after the ball is gone, his left leg sharply crosses his body and then gives a very odd wiggle. Sometimes this can happen because our brain seems to think we need more power to kick on our non-preferred foot, so we tend to swing it harder, at times causing sloppy disposal. Shannon Grant, handball on his non-preferred side. Shannon Grant shows us that all the basics are the same on your non-preferred side of the body. Shannon, naturally a left-hander, demonstrates clearly that if you are prepared to do the work, you can achieve the same level of skill on both sides. The same basics apply. Ball holding hand remains stable, doesn't drop away, it is used as the direction finder. The one slight difference is that Shannon strikes the ball higher than John Longmire. This makes the ball spin backwards and when done correctly gives a flatter, quicker delivery. This style of handball is where you move towards once the basic style has been mastered. To become fluent on your non-preferred side takes a lot of physical and mental strength. At first it feels odd and awkward, and when we're young we think more about how we look in front of others, rather than looking to the future. Remember, the future is where success lies. The present is where you learn and prepare for your football career. Constantly we're hearing now the mental side of football and the mental approach, the need to be always concentrating and have the right approach for the game. You're going to get 1,000 instructions from your coaches, be it from junior coaches and right through to the AFL coaches. It's up to you to be mentally prepared and understand what that means. It means that you have to just concentrate totally on what your job is. Have your job prepared, down pat, so you know what it is. Because as an individual, mentally you have to be strong to help your side gain the most it can on each given day that they play. In the mental side again, you just have to be a committed partner and equal in the team, so that when a time comes and that mental toughness is needed to come through to do the right thing at the right time under extreme pressure, you're right and prepared to do it. This comes from doing things over and over again. Repetition it's called, and that's the same as you do with your kicking, marking. It's the same with approaching each of the mental situations in the game. Being mentally tough. It's a hard thing to be because sometimes we want to take the soft option, but there's no room in the AFL for soft options. So it's a matter of consistently preparing yourself in this mental approach to anything you do, and allow yourself to make a mistake. If you do, that's okay. You've just got to learn by it. Get tougher, because each mistake you make, it means you're trying hard. And in that mental tear apart, which you'll do yourself, of why you make the mistake, you'll just go from there and improve and improve and improve.